Gentlemen, if you want to start, Sam, we'll start with you, but maybe just describe your Olympic trials experience and kind of the past few years for you leading up to this point.
Yeah, I can. It's a lot. You guys got a half hour? Yeah. There's a whole lot to cover there, but I mean, how do you put it into words? It's exciting. It's a relief. It's what you've dreamed of. It's what you've worked for. It's a long time coming. Let's see, where do you even start? My dad was an Olympian, so I was kind of born into it. And growing up, I mean, I used to play with his Olympic ring and put on his jacket and run around the house. So it was always something I thought was attainable, something I thought was reachable. It was never this, big thing in the sky that only a few people get. It was something that I thought I could always get. And then I came to OU and wrestled well, never quite got that national title, and tried out for the team in 04, took third, tried out for the team in 08 and took second. And all suddenly I'm realizing why people say it's something that's not attainable, that's only a few people get. And, when you got a support staff like we do here at OU, I mean, Jared's training for the team right there with me, and Coach Leitner made the world team a few years back. He's helping me, and then I got all these people that every time you fall just short of your goal, and they're helping you up. You got all those hands that are helping you, catching you. It stays attainable, and I'm happy to say that perseverance paid off, that all this hard work we put in finally paid off. And when that comes to fruition, you make that team, you can't put it in words. If you see the film, I just got a big grin, and I'm a little jumping bean around the mat, just jumping all over. And that's the best I can say for how to put it into words is it's just that kind of excitement. We don't have a word in our vocabulary yet for it. I'm working on it. I'm going to try to come up with one. You just can't. You got cloud 9, and then you got cloud Olympic level. So it's somewhere up there. When we figure it out, when we get that word, I'll be sure to let you guys know what it is.
Thanks, Sam. Jared, kind of along the same lines, just your trials experience.
Yeah, the trials experience was something that I'd never felt before. Confidence and a kind of a calm that I'd never had before in a tournament. A lot like Sam, I never won a national title here. Was second in a lot of world team trials, and had been to three other Olympic trials. And the Olympic experience, I mean, for those gals, I mean, they're up here crying, and they're 20, 21, 22 years old. I'm 33, so that's, I mean, tears were flowing, and I don't know if it'll hit me until I'm walking into that stadium in London for the opening ceremonies, because it's just I think it's been more overwhelming for my supporters, my friends, my family, and it really hasn't hit me. I've stayed busy. I'm chasing a little 18-month-old running around, and got a pregnant wife back at home. I'm calling recruits on July 1, and that's the good thing. I mean, I have other outlets, and it's not just about wrestling. It's more of a life commitment that I made a long time ago, and it's come to fruition, like Sam said, and so it's a goal that I've had for a long time, and it's almost become numb, because I knew that it was something that I was supposed to do. God gave me this ability to wrestle, and I wasn't gonna take it for granted, because I could still compete at this level at this age, and just excited and overwhelmed for the opportunity to represent the United States and be in London.
All right, well, open for questions.
Well, I guess I don't mean to give you another 15-minute question for either of you, but how have you managed over the years to stay in the game, to continue to wrestle, to keep your game up, be in a position to be here? Because people think of wrestling as high school and college, but here you are. So what was your road?
If you're in wrestling, you're in it because you love it. It's one of the last real combat sports. We're not in it making money. We're in it because we love it. This is what we do. And so, as long as we can, I see myself wrestling. As long as my body's going to allow me to, I'm going to wrestle. So, you got your ups and downs, but when it comes down to it, we love the sport. this has been a dream that I've been chasing since I was 3 years old. So it's what I love to do. It's part of my life. Like you said, it's a God-given talent, and this kind of sports staff we have around here, Doc Hines, I mean, he's going to the Olympics with us. We got everything we need. I would feel like I'm almost like I'm letting myself down, letting my family down if I stopped right now. If I didn't chase it to my fullest, it'd almost be a waste, if you will.
Yeah, I think just the scenario of being a collegiate coach has given me the ability to still compete at this level. There's been, if it wasn't for the opportunity of being a collegiate coach at the different places that I've been at, I couldn't be doing this. And my faith is probably the only reason that I've continued to do it. I've retired 2 or 3 times, and for some reason it's just brought me back. I mean, the love for the game and the ability to compete at this level, and just being blessed with the health that I've gotten, and so I just love it. It's something that if I can still do it, then I'm going to be doing it. This will be my last competition. I've talked to a lot of people and kind of been fun. It's going to be the last weigh-in I ever have, and that's something that I don't know. As a kid, I mean, I probably weighed in 5,000 times, and it's a challenge every time, regardless of what weight you're at, and so to have a last weigh-in and kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel for myself and for my wife, and it's going to be a pretty awesome experience.
What was the biggest piece of advice your father gave you in terms of wrestling? Do you remember? Is there any one big thing that stands out?
Man, I don't know if there's just one thing that stands out. I was real fortunate. He did a really good job of never putting that shadow on me. I never felt like I had to reach his goals or catch up to him. He did a real good job of just kind of instilling little things along the way. And I have so many little rules I live by in wrestling and live my life by too that he's instilled in me. And to say just one, it's really hard to say. There's so many, but I know that he's definitely instilled in me that you got to enjoy it. When you stop enjoying it, it becomes a job, and wrestling's too hard to be a job. Just to go to practice and work hard. You gotta enjoy it. You gotta keep that fun in it. And when I'm doing that, I'm wrestling good. I think that was a big thing this year. Is last Olympics 2008, we thought the best thing to do was for me to train at the Olympic Training Center. My wife was still in school here at OU, so she stayed here and I stayed there. And they talk about people making sacrifices, and that's how you make the team, and that works for some people. But I think it just put a lot of pressure on me. This year I got to stay around my family, trained here at OU. I think that made a big difference. Getting to be relaxed, having fun. And I really think it made a difference for me.
Sam, when you were, the finals of the trials, you went against somebody who had you had wrestled before and he beat you. What was it? What was your mindset going into that, and what was it like to come out on top?
It's funny you mentioned mindset. That's the other big thing I worked on this year was mindset. You keep getting second, and it starts becoming its own little monkey, its own little battle. So I worked real hard on mental game this year, and Nick Simmons, who I had in the finals, we've wrestled maybe 18 times now. We wrestled 8 in college, and at least 6 matches just in the last 2 years for the finals. So when I had him again, I was kind of happy. We've wrestled a lot. I kind of know what he does. But at the same time, he beat me last year, and it's kind of odd that it came down. We did the opposites of last year. Last year I won the first match. And then it's the first to win 2 periods in a match wins the match. And both the second and third match last year, the trials, I won the first period. So I only needed one more to get him. And then this year, he won the first match, and he won the first period of each thing. And so it was kind of nice. It was something I kind of held to, like, all right, this is where I was last year, and he came back and got me. So I can come back and get him. And sure enough, it paid off. And then just to get that win over him, make the team, oh, man, it's exciting. Get pumped up. I'm going to start jumping around here soon. Watch out.
Jared, kind of a similar story in terms of your gold medal match with Brent Metcalf, and he had never lost in Carver Hawkeye. Kind of maybe describe that environment there.
Yeah, I mean, for the Olympic trials, for you guys that don't know, we're in Iowa City. Metcalf's he's never lost in that building. He was 2-time NCAA champion. I actually coached him when I was at Iowa for a year and had wrestled him quite a few times. And my quote afterwards that he'd lost in that building a couple times before. It was just happened to be in the wrestling room. But yeah, I was in 2010. I wrestled him in the World Trial Finals and kind of had a stinging loss, a controversial, I'd say, loss in the 2010 World Trial Finals, and that was going to be my last year of competition. I was going to go to the World Championships, wrestle, and be done. And sure enough, I lost that match and took a year off. Kind of got my mindset a little bit better. Had a little daughter. That was kind of the deal. Was going to take a year off and be a dad and figure that out first. And always in the back of my mind, I knew that I was going to come back and wrestle a little bit. And sure enough, the whole time I've been visualizing that match. I knew I was going to have Metcalf. I was actually the 5 seed. He was the 2nd seed, so it wasn't matched up that way. It wasn't supposed to go down that way, but I knew all along that I'd be wrestling him. Sure enough, Iowa City did an awesome job. There's 15,000 people in the stands for the Olympic trials, and 14,500 and however many were for Brent Metcalf, and it was pretty cool. It was a situation that you only see in maybe like Russia or Iran. I mean, with that many people in the stands against you, and it just motivated you, and it's something that I'd seen a million times in my head, and that was what I was talking about the calm and the confidence. I was just in the right place. I knew all these years of 2nd place and struggle and just it had all come together. It all come to fruition at the right time, and I just had this calmness about me that I could go out there and if it was my last tournament, then so be it. If I were to lose, but I knew that if I just went out there and competed to my best ability, I was going to be okay. And sure enough, came out on the winning end and in a kind of a situation at the end of the match where I knew I had scored. I was going to win the match. I gave up a takedown late, but I knew that I had won, and the whole 14,500 thought that he had won on the last takedown. But I knew kind of that there's some scoring scenarios in freestyle that are a little crazy, but I knew that I had won, and the place went nuts thinking he won, and I was sitting there, pointing to this guy, and he was he knew that he had lost, but nobody else really understood. So it was neat. It was a neat experience, and so yeah, that's how it went.
Yeah. You talked a lot about how this might be your final weigh-in, and you walked away for a little bit. In terms of wrestling, going to London, participating in the Olympics, is this kind of win or lose, just a thrill to go out there? You almost feel like, as far as wrestling, it's Elway-esque.
Yeah, I mean, it's a situation where I know it's my last. There's been a lot of years of wrestling, and I'm not going to go out there and just be excited to be there. I have a job to do. And my dream was to win an Olympic gold medal, not just to be an Olympian. And yes, I'm gonna enjoy the experience. I'm gonna take it all in, and I think that's when I wrestle my best. When I don't have that pressure on me, I just go out there. I'm the underdog. I'm not supposed to win. There's a couple guys on our team that have done great in these world championships, and I don't have that pressure. I'm gonna know my competition. I'm gonna go out there and be prepared. And I believe I can win the weight. There's nobody better. Why not me? So I'm going to take that mentality in with confidence and sure enjoy the ride, but I'm going there to win. And I take that as a coach. I take that to my athletes, and that's how I expect myself to perform.
I've asked the other folks that came before you this, and it's just, where are the Olympics in the pantheon for a wrestler? Because for a track and field or a gymnast, I think almost what they're doing full-time at OU may be secondary to their Olympic dreams. They may not ever admit that, but nonetheless, here for a wrestler, I think it's about an NCAA championship. But anyway, here you are. So what are the Olympics about?
Yeah, the Olympics is the top. That's the ultimate goal. I can't speak for Jared, but like I said, my dad made the team, so that was always my goal since a little kid. I almost didn't go to college. I almost went straight into international, went to the OTC to train there, and then I decided, I wanted to see how I could do in college, challenge those guys a little bit, which I loved. I loved every bit of college. If folk style was an international style, it'd probably be what I'm doing. I really miss folk style, but for me, this is the pinnacle. This is your chance to say you're the best in the world. I mean, not very many people can say that in anything, much less in the sport. To be able to say I'm the best in the world and do it on an Olympic year, where the Olympics is incredible. The amount of the attention. It's the one time every 4 years where everybody's there. They've been giving us stats kind of little by little. I mean, the Super Bowl's huge, and you got 4,000 media there. And they said at the Olympics there's gonna be 25,000 just media. I mean, it's incredible the situation you're in. Never, ever in wrestling is all the United States behind you. And this is the one time in our sport that we're going to have the whole USA behind us. I get to wrestle for the USA, not just OU, not just Oklahoma. I'm wrestling for the USA, and I got people that are interested, wondering how we do. So this is it. This is what you dream of. This is the chance of a lifetime, And like Jared said, we're going to win gold. There's no doubt about it. This is not a hey, I made it to the Olympics and that's it. We're going to win, no doubt about it. Yeah.
This was all part of the journey. I knew that Olympic wrestling was part of my that was the ultimate goal. Ultimate goal. It's great to have had the experience and opportunity to wrestle here, anywhere collegiately. But it was the ultimate goal was to be an Olympic gold medalist.
For both of you, you talked about the coming up second, coming up third in the years past. How much sweeter is this for having gone through all of that?
It's almost claustrophobic. I mean, just the critiques and this, from national team coaches, and then just I'd always been the training partner or the alternate or the guy that was pushing the guy, and as hard as it's got to be hard in other sports, the gymnasts and those type. But when you're going mano-a-mano combat with another guy, and you're supposed to be the guy that's good job. You can do that shot better. The guy that you just lost to in the World Trial Finals or Olympic Trial Finals, and you're supposed to be the guy behind the scenes helping him out. That's tough. That's something you have to swallow your pride, and I'm all about USA Wrestling regardless of if I'm the guy or not the guy. I want the best for whoever's representing, and so now you're the guy, and it can get, especially as a coach, it's a little claustrophobic. Everything that you do wrong, it's kind of under a microscope, and I'm like, man, the guys before me really had a tough job. So, but it's, to be the guy is obviously pretty sweet.
I would have rather won all those. I'd rather this be my third Olympic team, but it does add to it, to come up short so many times and now to be there. It also it instills in you that, like, I may not get another shot. I'm hoping to go 4 more years. That would put me at 33 the next Olympics. So Jared made it. I can do it. And so but I'm not. I know that only one person goes. This may be my only shot. So yeah, I'm enjoying every minute of it, and I'm gonna give it all I got. Yeah, for sure.
All right, gentlemen, I know you guys have a little bit different financial situation just because you're not attached to a college. If you guys have anything, fundraisers, anything like that coming up, feel free to give them the information.
Yeah, we got, and I wish I had the details. My wife is taking care of all that kind of stress for me, which is awesome. It is. We get our way paid, but everybody else is on, if our wives want to go, we got to pay their way. So we're trying to do a lot of fundraisers, and I know Chick-fil-A and I think Freddy's are both doing a thing. Man, I wish I knew the weekend.
We'll get out.
Yeah, we'll get it out there. One of the weekends, though, they're doing a 3-day weekend where we get some of the money coming in. That's awesome. And then we both have shirts for sale and stuff. You can go to our Facebook pages or whatever and find them. But yeah, with all the support we can get behind us, and not just financially. Oklahoma being behind us is awesome. We got great fans here. We prove it through Thunder how our fans get behind a team, get behind sports. So any kind of just fan base we get behind us, we love. That kind of stuff, that support means a lot to us. We really enjoy that.
What would it be to have your wife there with you?
Oh, it means amazing. And my wife's going, my parents are going, her parents going, I got a couple brothers going. That support group really got me through this year, and especially past, we've talked about all the seconds and stuff we've both gotten, and having that support group is huge. You know, it means so much to me personally. It's just incredible having them there. I mean, my dad made a team. I want him there. I want to be able to talk to him if I need to, you know, and stuff like that, and allow him to have that experience. My mom, she's been there. She can help my wife. She knows what it's like to go through it, and just having that kind of support group is huge. So it's a big deal to us, and I'm sure to all Olympians. It's a big deal having them there. Absolutely.
My wife's 8 months pregnant. She won't be there. I'll be watching my second daughter's birth on Skype, I think. August 7th is the due date, so.